Hello everyone. Today's video is about occlusal change and muscle response. More clearly, this video is about why do muscles pain when we put a high restoration or a high filling or a high crown in a patient's mouth. Earlier, it was thought that whenever you put a high restoration in the form of a crown or a composite filling or anything of that sort, it inhibited attainment of a proper occlusion. As soon as the teeth made contact, maximum intercuspation could not be reached, and so the muscles started to overfunction, which is called as bruxism, and try to erase that high point. This erasure mechanism was thought to produce bruxism whenever you introduced a high restoration inside a patient's mouth. And this bruxism was thought to cause muscle pain due to an increase in muscle activity. In short, introduction of a high restoration led to bruxism, led to muscle pain, right? Wrong. Recording EMG activities of masticatory muscles has proven otherwise. What happens when you bite on a stone while chewing? You stop. That is exactly what happens when you bite on a high restoration. You stop. Biting on a high restoration produces a change in peripheral input to the central nervous system. The periodontal ligament of the teeth is hit hard and immediately informs the central nervous system that there is a threat of injury. The central nervous system, in order to protect the masticatory apparatus, increases the resting tone of the muscles of mastication. As a result, the antagonistic group of muscles start firing simultaneously. There is a sudden reduction in the range of motion of the jaw of the patient, and if you want to open the mouth or close the mouth, you will feel resistance in opening. Prolongation of this activity, which is actually called as a protective co-contraction since it is meant to protect your masticatory apparatus, causes muscle pain. So in short, a high restoration produces change in peripheral input to central nervous system, which produces protective co-contraction, which causes muscle pain. So whenever you put a high restoration, you did not increase bruxism causing pain, you actually activated the protective reflex, and that caused the muscle pain. So a high restoration does not cause bruxism as against is very commonly believed. But your high restorations produce a change that is very important to understand. We all know that opening the jaw is the function of inferior lateral pterygoid and closing the jaw is the function of elevators, that is the masseter, temporalis and the medial pterygoid muscles. A coordinated functioning between these two groups of muscles keeps the patient pain-free and keeps the temporomandibular joints, the teeth and the muscles in harmony with each other. Whenever a patient closes on a high restoration, he is not able to attain maximum intercuspation as he used to do. To produce closure of the entire jaw, he has to shift the jaw, and that makes the inferior lateral pterygoid kick in during closure of the jaw also, as against its normal function of firing during the opening of the jaw. Constant functioning of the inferior lateral pterygoid and the depressor muscles during closure as well as opening of the jaws produces what is called as muscle hyperactivity. This muscle hyperactivity in the depressors of the jaw produces a corresponding muscle hyperactivity of the elevators of the jaw, causing symptoms of muscle pain. This pattern of closure over high restoration is eventually learned and stored in the muscle engrams in your brainstem. The next time when the patient closes the mouth after a few days, he actually avoids the high restoration, deviates the jaw inferiorly and then superiorly, activating the antagonistic group of muscles, causing them to be hyperactivated and at the same time closing the mandible in a different position. This closure of the mandible is called as hit and slide occlusion, which injures periodontal structures of many of the teeth that are hit in eccentric positions. It also causes attresion of teeth that are being hit in a position other than the normal position. So high restoration actually, instead of starting an erasure mechanism to erase itself, produces closure of jaw in eccentric positions and learning of a new muscle engram that gets stored in the brainstem. This new muscle engram may injure your teeth, your periodontal ligament, and since it brings the jaw to closure in eccentric position, it gets the condyle out of the articular fossa, causing friction over the disc, starting intracapsular disorders. So maybe you may feel relaxed to understand that your high restorations do not produce permanent parafunction, but they do produce a change in muscle engrams that can be deleterious to the muscles of mastication, to the teeth, to the periodontium, as well as to the temporomandibular joints themselves. So place your direct and indirect restorations carefully in the current occlusion of the patient. This can be done by doing adequate preparations to replace restorations in whatever material you are using in PFMs or zirconia or EMAX. Placing temporaries on your preparations that avoid supra-eruptions and tooth migration. Using CAD-CAM restorations instead of the handmade restorations. Whenever you are placing your final restorations, do mark the current occlusion of the patient with marking papers as well as with markers, and then place permanent restorations and check if they are in correct occlusion. If not, do ensure establishment of a proper occlusion before the patient leaves your clinic. I hope you understood how placement of a high restoration affects the masticatory apparatus inside your patient. If you have any queries, just post your questions and I shall reply. This is Dr. Sayukta signing out.